welcome to the channel again. So I thought I'd give a bit of a short-term review on my CF-Moto 450 MT. As you can see, we're in Wales, mid-Wales to be exact, okay. We've got sheep over there, we've got mountains, we've got dirty motorbikes. What's not to like? So you might be able to see how dirty that is. That's myself. And that's because I just took a bit of an off-road, Roman road type trail that was mentioned in Bike Wheel's channel. So I thought I'd give it a go. Only fell off twice. But yeah, great fun. But what I thought I'd do was, just have a chat about what are my thoughts on the bike so far. Having done about, I don't know, 2,300 miles in and out, something like that, including a bit of a tour and a tour of Ireland, and plenty of mileage, A roads, B roads, a little bit of motorway, and a bit of off-road. So stay tuned, and we'll chat soon. Okay, so just want to chat while I'm riding through this bit of a technical road section here a minute, so excuse me for a minute while I concentrate. That was probably a bad time to start talking really, but there you go. Oh yeah, look at that. I don't think the camera does that justice. This is a cracking road. So just want to talk about it. Like I said, with regards to short-term review, like I've only done about 2,300 miles, so it is short-term. People have owned these bikes now for going on a couple of years, and they've done a lot more mileage than I have. Like they put 50,000, 60,000 miles on their bikes in world-type tours. Right, crikey, here we go again. Wowzers. Okay. So like I said, this is very much a short-term review. Look at that scenery. And in the meantime, we can have a look at some cracking scenery while we're talking. So, So I just went on a tour on this bike to Ireland, just a 3-day tour, that's all. And it gave me a good idea about, is this the type of bike that I'll do that kind of thing in the future with? 3 days, okay, so kind of limited about a time really, so it's not an extended tour as such. It gives you an idea because you vary with the riding, you vary with the terrain, you vary the roads on. I know exactly where we're at. We're on Clear. Okay, this is an area called Clear in the Brecon Beacons. It's absolutely stunning. Okay, and in fact I used to walk up there a lot, up that way. Still do actually. I was up there last month. Anyway, back to the bike. So what is it like to tour on? Well, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. What did it do well? It did the A roads and B roads well, things like this. Single track roads, absolutely no problem at all. As you can see, as you know, you can only pick up a certain amount of speed on these roads anyway. And like, if you've got roads like this, you actually want to be looking at the scenery that you're riding through as well anyway. So, absolutely fantastic. In Ireland, I found roads like this, these mountain roads, because there was a lot of them. I was going on a lot of coastal roads. Incidentally, that video is on my channel, but it's just like a 5-minute kind of cinematic thing. You just get an idea of what the roads are like, really. So have a little look at that if you can. But like I said, so there's a lot of roads like this, single track roads, and you just want to kind of like take your time, pool your way through it, take in the scenery and enjoy riding, and that's what it's all about. It's like we're doing today, really. Look at this. Sheep's in a road, major hazard around Wales. And so A roads, B roads, no problem at all. So then we get into the A roads, you know, your dual carriageways, things like that. And then again, as you know, that's when it starts to get a little bit more boring, and the riding you don't really want to be doing, but we have to do it now and then, don't we? Because sometimes we just want to make track, sometimes we want to gain time, and so we'll include the odd A road into our riding, but also the odd motorway, unfortunately, into our riding, because I don't know about anyone else out there, there's probably a lot of people out there that absolutely hate motorways. And I probably hate motorways because, you know, I'm on a bike like this. If I was on a BMW GS 1300, you know, motorways wouldn't matter so much, would they? But again, really, I don't ever want to be doing that many motorways, so I'm never going to buy a GS 1300. I'd like to stick to the roads like this and actually see the country for what it is, rather than sticking on some 3-4 lane motorway, which you just see tarmac. So yeah, if motorway is your type of riding and you want to put big miles into your wheels in order to get from point A to point B within a day and put 500-600 miles in the day, then this bike isn't probably for you. It's not that it won't do it, it's not going to be anywhere near as comfortable as that big mile munching kind of machine like your 1300s. It will do it, but it's just not going to be as happy doing it, and your backside isn't going to be either, to be honest, okay? Because after a couple of hours, what I did find, and it's probably the same with every bike, it was the same for me with my Triumph, in all fairness, the Triumph Tiger Sport. After a couple of hours, you just start to get a little bit sore, saddle sore, and then you want to get off the thing. So, yeah, my honest opinion of big motorway miles, yeah, avoid this bike completely. Okay. If you want to stick to A roads and B roads and a little bit of off-road section, or a lot of bit of off-road section actually, this is the bike for you. So that's your motorway. Sorry, your touring. I did hit a little bit of like off-road track on the tour, if you like. Well, it wasn't so much of an off-road track, it was a little track down to a beach, and I'll hopefully see if I can overlay the picture into this video, but I got stuck on the beach and because of my limited off-roading capability, I sat on the bike while I was trying to get out of this loose pebbly section of a beach, because it was a pebble beach, and I sunk the back wheel. Had it not been for an Irish fisherman who was fishing nearby, who came to help me dig the bike out, I probably got it would have been washed away like as the tide come in and taken it out. But yeah, I was absolutely looking at it for like 5 minutes, wondering what on earth I'm going to do about the back wheel stuck up to the discs and onto the sub guard actually, in a load of pebbles. So note to self, understand, and you know, if you're honest with yourself as well, if you've got good off-roading capability, then like you're all good, aren't you? But if you've got limited off-roading capability like I have, probably best that you don't bite off more than you can chew like I did there. And yeah, I kind of almost did today really. I'll stick the video up today about the little off-road section that I did. It was a Roman road.
Fucking hell.
It was a Roman road between Trecastle and Llandovery, and like I said, it's the one that Chris Northover was talking about on one of his on the best 5 trails in Wales. He mentioned this, and the reason why I took it was because he said you don't really have to be an off-road rider in order to do it. Well, he's absolutely right, but I'm a very novice off-road rider, so I learned a bit of a lesson there today as well. If you've got experts saying that it's achievable by non-off-road riders, then also understand that you have got a lot of limited capability as well. So anyway, yeah, off-road capability of this bike, absolutely fantastic. From my experience so far, I've done 2 or 3 off-roads, 3 occasions, proper off-road if you like. Like I said, I'll try and inlay the one I did today. I've got another video on the channel for when I'm riding this bike around the Clairwen Reservoir. A bit of drone footage and a bit of kind of like camera footage. Camera footage, action cam footage never does it justice really, but that's also it's proper off-road, so there's a lot of kind of like enduro riders on the trail as well. And what I found is just it's absolutely fantastic. I've dropped it a couple of times now. I've dropped it 3 times doing the off-road stuff, and I pick it back up and it goes again. There's nothing precious about this bike whatsoever. It's a tool. It looks great. I think it looks great anyway, but it is a proper tool as well, and that's what I like about it. It's functional. I can't stand. We're in the village of Ystrefother right now, and we're going this way. I'm a really kind of like tool functional kind of bloke, like, you know, I want something that can handle the job that it's been given, and that's kind of like why I went for this, because I saw all the reviews myself, and it does, you know, from what I've experienced so far, it's handling everything I throw at it. And also, like I said, there are better off-road riders out there than me, and you know, they're absolutely singing the praises of this bike. So, touring capability, yes, barring the fact that, you know, it's not happy on the motorways. That said, he'll do the motorway. There's no problem with it, really. You know, like on the way back, coming back from Rosslare to Pembroke, and then Pembroke to home in Cardiff, I took mostly motorway because I just wanted to get home. And you know, it'll sit on 6,500 revs at about 70 mile an hour, but I kind of like drop it down to about 65, so I'm politely sat at about 6,000 revs. And it's got overtake capability. I'm not sure why people say it hasn't got overtake capability, because it has. You know, if you've got a truck or a car just sticking to 60 or 70, then you'll get past them with this, no problem at all. So yeah, it has got that motorway capability, and it is a good touring bike. The luggage setup I had on it was the Lone Rider 70 litre bags, either side, pannier bags, soft luggage, and I just put like a small kind of like rucksack on the back and on a beaver tail, and I was a way to go. So touring capability, I absolutely love it, because you know you're going to be able to take it anywhere that you absolutely want. You're only going to be able to take it on your A roads and motorways if you need to. So touring capability, fantastic. Off-road capability, fantastic. Roads, you know, what's not to like about this on roads like this? You know, you got a bike in front of me there, like out and out sports tourer type road bike by the looks of it. And this bike doesn't, you know, it's never going to be as good as a 17-inch wheel, because it's a 21-inch front, for obvious reasons. And it's not going to be anywhere near as flickable. Okay, I don't know that guy, by the way, but and it's not going to be anywhere near as flickable. You know, I had the Tiger Sport 660, and it was a really, really agile bike. So this isn't as agile, although it doesn't give a lot away because it's nice and light. Okay, it's about 200 kilograms maybe, fueled up. So it's still fairly light. It's just that it's got the 21-inch wheel. So agility-wise, it drops a few points. The capability, it gains loads of points. Okay. So if you're that person who's kind of on a fence with one of these, because camping, if you're on the fence about a Chinese bike, and in, you know, particular or specifically a CF Moto and a CF Moto 450 MT, you could spend your money on a lot worse. I truly believe that, you know. When I was looking at this bike, I took out a Yamaha, the Tenere, for a test ride. I took out the Suzuki V-Strom 800RE. They didn't have a DE. Unfortunately, I didn't video either of those test rides, so that was a bit stupid of me. But yeah, the Tenere is obviously, like, you know, a superior bike in many ways, and it has that bomb-proof engine, the CP2. But on the test ride, you know, with me being about 5'9" and a bit of a 30-inch inside leg, I just found it too tall. You know, I was on the one I had a low seat, so I was just about on the balls of my feet. And so when I was coming to stops, I kind of like put the one foot down, because it's got a nice narrow kind of like bench seat, nice narrow seat. And so I was just able to swivel one leg down, which is the trick really, isn't it? But I still found it a little bit top heavy. And given the fact that it only had about, you know, a couple of litres of fuel in it, it didn't make me feel that comfortable, like, you know. So if there was about 13-14 litres of fuel in there, it'd be even more top heavy. So yeah, I don't know, people have said that before, and that's nothing new, but again, like, you know, I just found that as well. And so given the fact that then that's 10, 11 grand by the time you add a couple of bits and pieces to it, compared to this being 5, 6, 5, 7 on the road. I added a couple of bits and pieces to this, like the crash bars. I don't know if you can see those crash bars, upper and lower, sump guard, I've centre stand. So yeah, I have added bits and pieces, so that took it to about 6,100 quid. That's still almost half price than a Tenere, and people are saying this is like a mini Tenere, and it is. That's what I found. Why is he in the middle of the road? Not the bike driver, the car driver. So yeah, so compared to the Tenere, this is 6,507 on the road. Tenere's 10, 11. And look, I'm not criticising. I'm not a reviewer. Okay, I'm not a bike journalist, bike reviewer, or anything like that. So I've got no qualifications to criticise manufacturers and bikes. But I can comment on what I think I'd rather spend my money on. Okay, I'd rather spend my money on, especially if it's a bike that I'm probably going to drop. Because let's face it, I would have done the trails I did there today and previously on the Tenere, and if I'd have dropped the Tenere, I would have been a little bit more upset than if I'd have dropped this, okay, than when I'd have dropped this. So again, 6 grand, I'm not in a business of wasting 6 grand's worth, that's for sure, but it's a lot less crucial than dropping a Yamaha Tenere. So yeah, luggage setup. I opted for the Lone Rider soft luggage. I think I showed you in one of my previous videos. Purely because I wish in a way that I was wearing it today, because I was carrying it today because, excuse me a minute, this looks a little bit technical, but there you go, that's alright. I did go over twice on the bike and come off. And it landed on both occasions exhaust side. So had that soft luggage been on the bike, it'll offer some kind of protection to the exhaust. So yeah, note to self in future again, I might put the soft luggage on even if there's nothing in it or hardly anything in it, purely as a means of protection for the exhaust. Not so much the engine because I got a crash guard, but for the exhaust really. And it did land on the handlebar as well. Obviously, deformed that handguard a little bit. Excuse the deliberate error. Is it pretty? Okay. Nice little up and downhill sections here. Just might concentrate on this a minute, just in case there are cars coming around the other way. So yeah, back to the short-term review. So I said what it's good for. What are the things I don't like about it? Well, it hasn't got cruise control, but it won't have it. Excuse me a minute. All right. Careful, don't go down a little gully on the side there. Right out. Happy days. So yeah, things I don't like. Hasn't got cruise control, but it's not going to on the road price of 5.6, 5.7. Hasn't got heated grips, hasn't got heated seat, but I don't expect that, honestly. I don't think anyone realistically would expect it on a bike at this price, although saying that, you know, the QJ 450, is it RT or RX or something, that does have heated grips and heated seats, so, you know, who am I to criticise that? We are on the spot, I think. Okay, I'm about to do a little bit more off-roading. Okay, looks like you're going to join me on a little bit of fire track road gravel track by the looks of it. Might be time to stand up. Yeah, cool. And like stuff like this, it absolutely eats it up. Like I said, I might be able to stick the video that I did earlier on this, or just a minute or so of it, so you can just see what I was doing earlier, because it was good. A lot harder compared to this. This is just kind of like gravel track, really. But you can see what, you know, this is your only bike, and you know, you wanted to tour Europe and Spain and France, and you come across these dirt and gravel tracks and things like that, but your campsite was down, or your accommodation, or you just see a landmark that you want to go and see, and it's up a gravel track. Well, like on a lot of bikes with road tyres on and road biased bikes, then you're not going to be able to. Right, I actually need to stick this off-road, actually. You're not really going to be able to. I know if I took my Tiger Sport on this track, it wouldn't like it at all. It'd be dancing all over the place. It was quite precious. But a bike like this now, not going to be an issue. Right, we're off-road. I'm pretty sure I can be on this. I'm legally allowed to be on this track. I can see vehicle tracks all over it, so well, definitely bike tracks. They look like motorbike tracks and not cycle tracks. This is a bit of fun, isn't it? Hey. So, I suppose I better wrap this up before I start having too much fun. Yeah, that's just my 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it was I've waffled on for worth of a short-term review. Cracking touring bike, takes luggage no problem at all, although if you were to take any advice from me, which, you know, I don't suggest you do really, you know, follow your own kind of ideas there, but yeah, I would stick with soft luggage on it, purely because it's a bike you're more likely to drop, and therefore the hard luggage, the pannier boxes, are probably going to damage potentially the bike, as opposed to protecting bits and pieces. The soft luggage, therefore, then, because it's covering your pipe, will protect it. Okay, like I said, I wish I had it on there today, because I fell over twice on it, both on the exhaust side. So yeah, 100% I would go for soft luggage, but that's just me. Touring capability, absolutely fantastic. You can see off-road capability, absolutely fantastic, and it's been far more qualified off-road riders trialing this bike than me as well, mind. Okay, so I would look at their videos instead, or not instead, as well as, because I like people watching my videos too. Woohoo! Still not skillful enough to change gear while being stood up yet. So tour it off-road and we talked about on-road, okay? So you know my opinion, okay, and you've got the opinions of plenty of other people on this bike. The bike is starting to be proven now, okay? Nobody can say actually this bike hasn't done enough miles yet, because people have gone from one end of the world to the other on it and back. There was a French guy that went from Paris to Malaysia and back, so and here we go. Am I not allowed on there? No motor vehicles. Well, that's, god damn it. Okay, never mind then. So on that note, I'll probably call it a day there. I'll probably turn around to go home. But hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again. Stay safe and ride safe.